Hi there. Hi there. Welcome back. Hi there. Nice to see you. Good to see everybody. Hi. Nice to see you. Welcome back. Busy day today. Fuck, I had a day. Crazy day. Anyway, we got a busy set of shows coming up this week, too. We're not even done. It's Thursday. Hi, everybody. I don't know why I'm talking like this. Just kind of bring the temperature down a little bit before we get started. I know everybody wants to get started on a high note. I like to kind of ease in. Welcome to the program. My name's Dean. That is Lachlan Cross from 957 Cruise FM at Edmonton, host of The Locker Room, one of Canada's best rock and roll morning radio programs.
You were too kind, sir. You were too kind.
I'm in. Listen to you guys today. Maybe three of the most connected, best chemistry I've heard. No word of a lie. The best chemistry I've heard in a show, maybe since mine. And I'm not even kidding. Like, just fucking unbelievable. You guys do a
very
great job.
lucky, man. I've had fire in a bottle a couple of times in my career.
Lightning
I worked with a guy in Winnipeg, Philly the Kid, Phil Aubrey, who is doing his own show now on a Rogers station, 92 ZFM.
What's up?
Him and I got along really well. We had a great show in Winnipeg on Power. We had a two-man thing. I had a really, really good show here in Edmonton with a guy by the name of Warren Barris, a big boy. I believe he is still on the Bear, although I haven't even accidentally listened to the Bear in years. But I think he's still there. Anyway, Warren is a great broadcaster, and he is I think is still doing afternoon drive with some guy named Toby, I think.
No
anyway,
idea.
Warren and I had great chemistry, and then fuck, man, I've just hit it out of the park with Jimmy. Was on the Bear with me.
Yeah.
And I brought Jimmy over, and we launched the Locker Room about 6 years ago, and they put Grant in with me. Didn't know a thing about that kid, and oh my god, just
funny
a
fucker.
perfect
So
foil to my idiocy and my overbearingness. Right?
Yeah. It's a great show. Listen
the
to it.
three of us have very, very good chemistry on this podcast too. I think it rivals many radio shows in the country, and that's just
you.
That's just me. But
I don't disagree.
I would suggest it.
Yeah, no, it's good. It makes the world go around. Chemistry. Now, if you don't have chemistry, you can't do anything. Like I was listening to this radio fight, but Lynn sent me the other day in St. Louis of these two, like a co-host and a host.
You guys gotta send me this.
Literal fight, like losing their minds over each other, like losing it. He's like, "You're a fat pig," and then she's like, "You're a dick," and he's like, "Your kids suck." Like the most incredible shit you've ever heard in your life. And then as soon as the microphone goes on, it was like this. 92.6 Johnny FM. We
honestly,
you know how many times I've done that? Like I was listening to this fight, like this radio. That's Lynn's, by the way. Ryan Lindley joins us as well from the Lynn's Report at Ryan Lindley on Twitter. He's having a Girl Guide cookie. We'll get into that in just a second. But do you know how many times in my radio career, my former radio career, which I enjoyed greatly, you'd be fucking losing your mind having this massive in studio scrap. You're like, fuck you, no, fuck you, no, you know what, fuck you. Click, the microphone goes on. You hit mic. Good day, everybody. Nice to see you. Welcome to the program. Everything's here is great. It's going to be 28 degrees outside. Just a lovely day to be positive and go get it. Here's Nirvana, and then you hit the song, and then you get. And as soon as the microphone goes off, you're like, "You're a fucking prick. I fucking hate." That was this radio fight that I heard the other day that Lynn sent me. It was on YouTube. The guy's been fired since it, but it's just like. It underscores the importance of chemistry because I think everybody thinks that that job is very difficult, but fuck, like if that show was anything like the fight that I heard, I wouldn't have listened to it ever. But you guys actually like each other. That's my point, which is cool to watch.
We have moments. There are days that I hope there's no video of me and Jimmy yelling at each other. Me so more yelling at Jimmy.
No way.
If
That's
I'm being
in the car,
honest.
though, mostly, right? Like on the way in.
I do actually get in a couple of good licks in the morning in the drive-in. Yes, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I know.
Jimmy is he's like a brother, right? And infuriates me, and because he lives his life so differently than I do, I've kind of given into it. Like I had a moment, and I think I even mentioned it to you guys. I might even said it on the podcast. I had a moment where I realized that I wasn't going to have a real impact on Jimmy. When we were talking to his mother a couple of years ago, I've since stopped talking to all his family. I've blocked all his family in Tabor too, because they don't get the show. They don't understand. Like, why are they talking about the Tabor Corn Fest? There isn't one in Christmas.
Why are they making fun of it?
People might come to Tabor for Corn Fest in December.
Don't worry, nobody's coming to Tabor.
Yeah. So I was tired of explaining our humor to somebody who's spent 25 plus years in Tabor, Alberta, which is a vacuum for normalcy. And
it's rural Alberta.
Yeah.
Like,
so anyway, his mother was going, "Oh my gosh, is he still not cleaning?" He's been a complete pig his whole life. It's not changing. There's no going back. I guess when he was like 5, 6 years old, he was a complete animal, and to this day is a complete and utter animal. He lives. We call it the den of sadness. And if I took people there, like I was actually talking to a guy yesterday who was homeless for 14 years, lived on the streets, was addicted to all sorts of drugs from the age of 20 to 34. And he was asking about the den of sadness. And I said, Jeff, I know you. You spent 14 years of your life living homeless in the woods, shitting, not far from where you slept. I wouldn't take you to the den of sadness. I wouldn't do that to you. He goes, really? It'll change you. You walk in that room, it'll change you. And so we have.
I got to see the outside, and the outside was, I believe it was
Spartan.
It looked like Soviet Russia when the USSR fell.
Yeah,
like they showed like the neighborhoods and when people lived in the communist housing.
Yeah.
They were all flats, and it looks like that. And I don't know if you guys saw, I shared that folder of content with you guys from my trip. We dropped Jimmy off, and that's when I got to see the outside, and we were looking at the front of his building, and we're like, what is going on? There's a bunch of these, but what do you got? Magpies out there? Is it magpies?
They're black and white.
Yeah.
Magpies. That's what they are. They're big.
Okay. They're like they're like our seagulls.
Assholes. Magpies are assholes.
They're total assholes. I let my dog chase them.
They're all around the front door of Jimmy's apartment building, and we're like, what are they doing? They're like flying into the door and
waiting for him to.
And then I looked, and I'm like, they're picking the building apart. Like they were picking pieces of something out of the building. So I said, I got to fucking see this, right? So I got out with Jimmy and helped him carry his luggage and his 2 lightsabers, not 1, 2, to the door. And somebody, I guess the night before, had ripped the intercom system right out of the front of the fucking building.
There's a lot of homeless down there.
It's for maybe the copper wire or something.
Yeah.
And the magpies were in there pulling all the insulation out of Jimmy's building. And it was all over the ground. And Jimmy didn't even bat an eye. He's like, yeah, well, whatever. And just walked right past it. That's about it.
It's $500 a month. Sometimes you get a magpie issue for $500 a month.
Yeah, he's not leaving because his rent is very reasonable, right? And I can't believe they let him live in there. Like, because you can smell his apartment as soon as you open up the back door.
Yeah.
Like, I drop stuff in, and I'm like,
does it smell like camping gooch in there? You know that smell, that funky kind of tart,
3 days,
sort of sour camping gooch smell, like where you go. Let's say you go camping for the weekend. We've all done it. You go camping for the weekend, and you throw your gitch on the floor of the bathroom, and you have a shower, and you go back, and then you come back into the bathroom a couple hours later, and you're like, smells like camping gooch, like that kind of stuff. Does it smell like camping gooch?
No. When you leave your empties, and they sit in a bag, like a plastic bag for like a month or 2, and the sun got on them, and then you open it up, and there's that kind of rotting kind of cabbage kind of smell.
Yeah,
that's it, and it sticks to you like that smell. It hangs in the air.
Acidic.
That I know.
That's his part, and it's with an underlying tone of poo. Like he destroys. And if you go into his bathroom, it's just 2 white spots on the tub and just black
where he stands
around where he stands.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I can't believe people live like this. And there's lots of people that live like this, right?
Yeah,
dude. Yeah,
they just don't clean.
No, but dude, some people are okay with who they are, though, right? Like there are a lot of people out there that will say living like that makes you immune to almost every disease on the planet. And I would say vice versa.
That's another reason why I've stopped bugging him. The guy never gets sick.
Exactly.
Ever.
There you go. Yeah, he's got
like
everything.
he just doesn't get like I've like during
Hey, dude,
COVID, I
you
was
see
like,
this?
they should be sending the CDC to his apartment,
Do you see?
taking
Well,
blood samples
to that
and
point, to your
creating some
point,
sort of cure for mankind.
Army Chris from our Fire for Effect podcast just weighed in. He goes, "I piss in his yard, not his bathroom." So there you go.
Well, he caught me trying to take a shit beside his building, and he got mad at me. So he doesn't let me because I quite often I'll have a shit that'll shake loose when I travel. Like the car will shake it loose if I didn't do it in the morning, and then I gotta go and I'm dropping him off, and and I was
Not
running
going
to
in
the
there.
side of the building. He's going, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm going to take a dump." He goes, "Just do it in my bathroom." I'm like, "I don't want to take a dump in your bathroom. It's not right."
Yeah, it's a place that you wipe your feet when you leave.
Dude, I had a conversation about poop this morning. I was just with my doc. I went to a doctor's appointment. Have you guys been to a doctor in a while? Like, have you been to a doctor for a checkup? I haven't been for years.
I go every year.
I haven't been. Last couple of years, I've been
not
like,
for
fuck it, if I get something, I
not
guess
for
I'll figure
routine
it out.
stuff. No.
Yeah. A lot of people like I got a buddy of mine. His name's Pete. I'm like, when was the last time you went to a doctor? He's like, 12 years ago. I'm like, holy fuck, dude. He's in his 50s. I'm like, you should probably go to the doctor, right? He goes, I've been to the dentist in 11 years. I'm like, holy shit, that's unbelievable. Yeah. And the pandemic has made everybody like, because there's these horror stories about people going to like doctor's offices and stuff like that. So I make a doctor's appointment because I got this thing that I thought it was like a discoloration of something on my nose. And I'm like, I better go get that checked out. I want to see what's going on. So it started to bug me and stuff like that. And then I started talking to a friend of mine and he's like, yeah, dude, you should probably go get blood work done. You're like 49, you're heading into 50. There's a bunch of different stuff they got to check, like baseline checks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I go to the doctor's office this morning. It's fucking amazing. It's amazing. One of the best experiences I've ever had. But it was a totally different experience. So I show up to the doctor's office. By the way, walk-in clinics, if you can find one in your area, I'm not even telling everybody the name of it because I don't want anybody to book it. It's like my personal walk-in clinic. So it's like right around the corner from my house. And it is now. So I make an appointment and they're like, walk-in clinic. Do I have to? She goes, yeah. Tell me what your problem is first. This is yesterday. I'm like, I got this thing on my nose. Haven't had my family doctor just retired. Lovely lady. Had her for like 20 years. And she's like, yeah. Come on in tomorrow at like 11:15. I'm like, no problem. Showed up at 11:15. Go to walk in. Door's locked. And it just says knock or call. Knock. Lady comes to the front. She's like, do you have a mask? She's like full gear. She's got the face shield. She's got the mask. She's got all the gear on. And she's like, do you want to come in? Because you need a mask. I said, yeah, I'm just here for 11:15. She goes, okay, go next door. So I'm like, no problem. Go next door, get a thing of masks, strap one on, go inside, talk to her for a minute, fill out the paperwork. I'm the only person there. The only person in this waiting room. The only person. Felt fucking great. Super happy to wear a mask. Really excited to go and have my nose checked out. Maybe get a little blood work, which I did. Turns out I'm in pretty good health. But it dawned on me as I'm sitting there. I was sitting there wondering how incredible this experience was. No one around me coughing. No one around me like crowding me with their sickness. You know, all that. There's nothing. I don't got a mask on. Everybody else is wearing a mask. I'm like, this is kind of nice. This is kind of a good thing. But then it dawned on me, Rye.
Yeah.
It dawned on me. I'm like, what about the hardos who like super will never wear a mask, right? Those guys are like, you'll never fucking catch me in one. Never fucking wearing a mask. Never doing it. What happens if they get appendicitis? What happens if they get rheumatoid arthritis? What happens if they have a growth on their face that they need to have removed? What happens if they have to go to the doctor? Are they just not wearing a mask? Because I asked the lady, I'm like, the lady at the front desk, I'm like, what's this all about? Like, explain the process to me because I like it. She goes, well, you know, we had a lot of people get angry at us, but we can't have a lot of marginalized people come in here, a lot of older people. So we don't want anything running. We've got HEPA filters and all that stuff. So we just take extra precautions. And I said to her, what's the response like when someone doesn't have a mask? She goes, not like you. And I go, what do you mean? And she's like, well, people get really angry. And I said, what do you mean they get angry? Like, do they refuse the thing? She goes, no, they get angry. We've had people punch the door. We've had people kick the door. We've had people spit on the door. And I'm like, because they won't put on a mask? And she goes, yeah. We used to give them out until someone literally without a mask came in and took the masks and threw them into the parking lot. And we just need people to wear masks because we have a bunch of people. And I was shocked. I was shocked because I hadn't thought about it. I haven't been to the doctor in like so long because of the stories of like wait times and all the other shit. And it's like, I'm like, I just don't even go to the what I feel okay. I feel fine. I'm gonna. And then when I went, it was like my eyes were opened up to a whole different experience that people are going to have to go through if they're just not interested in wearing masks or ever getting vaccinated or ever being a fucking civic-minded human being. Right? That was shocking to me. Shocking.
I actually have a story,
where,
and I don't know if I've got all the details right.
Where are they Where are they going to go? Where do these help me figure that out, because I have no idea. Someone who's never going to wear a mask is never going to fucking go to the doctor if he can't go to the doctor without a mask.
My theory is, and it's mostly the way I've seen it in every situation, is those diehards will wear a mask, not tell their friends, or they'll tell them on Twitter that, oh, I told them fuck you, and they opened the door and they let me in and they kissed my ass.
I think there's an element of that.
And then they'll just wear it and say they did that. So that's whatever gets you through the fucking day, fine. But then there is that small percentage of people that will right away use every fucking excuse in the book to say, I have a religious exemption, I have a medical exemption, I don't have to fucking tell you it. Meanwhile, it's your doctor, you dillhole. So I think most of them are probably doing it and saying they're not, maybe. And then there's the ones that it's mostly
there's a
performative.
handful, though. I think there's a handful that do what what Dean was saying. They go in there and they make a scene. Yeah. I actually have a story, and I don't know if I have all the details right, but we had
is it a quick story or long story, or just a regular long story?
I'll make it quick. I got it. So this guy he's an anti-vaxxer and anti-masker, and he's not, I wouldn't say he's in our friends group. He's friends with somebody in our friends group. He got sick during COVID and had to go to the hospital for something. And I don't remember what it was. Appendix, it's funny that you bring up appendix. I could be wrong, but they told him he had to wear a mask, and he made a scene, and he ended up having but I think basically the doctors and nurses told him, well, we'll just leave you in the fucking parking lot and you'll die, or you put the mask on. I think he got one of those, but it was in fucking COVID. Like, we were right in the balls of it, and he ended up at the hospital. And then we were all laughing because somebody shared a picture of him
on his deathbed.
No, with a mask on.
Well, and we saw the same.
To a bunch of people.
Remember that guy that was in the hospital with his kid, and his kid needed to be in there, and
that was Tom Marazzo. Yeah, that was Tommy Boy. Yeah,
yeah. So you know what? It's if there's not a camera rolling, I guess they'd probably just suck it up. Or
fascinating.
Yeah.
It's just interesting because I thought to myself, like, fuck, I guess you guys are never going to the doctor again. Like,
look what we've made out of this stuff. Like, it's
and I don't care.
Huge
today, I'm sitting in this expansive, beautiful fucking waiting room at a doctor's office, listening to some light spa music, sitting next to one of those little portable little mini waterfalls that makes nice noise, and and
in your personal walk-up clinic.
Yeah, and I got a 2-ply
Steve Lindell personal walk-up clinic.
I'm never telling anybody where it is, dude. She was like, because I haven't had a physical for a few years, and she's like, okay, you're 49. Do you want to get your prostate checked? I go,
I was gonna say,
right now or like in general? She's like, no, like, do you want me to take blood work for your prostate? And I go, do I need it? She goes, well, how is your urination? How is your voiding? And I go, perfect. She goes, do you get up tonight to pee? I go, never. She goes, any blood? I'm like, never, no blood. She's like, okay, well, you're all right. She goes, how are your bowel movements? I go, let me tell you about those.
Let me tell you
about
those.
Absolutely unbelievable. Never had an issue.
Did you say it like that? Is that why you're not allowed to go back?
I did. No, she was super cool. She's like, I go, never had an issue. In fact, I'm spectacular in that department. She starts laughing. She goes, that's the first time I've heard anybody call them their rectum spectacular. I'm like, I'm a guy. I knew what I do. Yourself. I eat to poop, I said. She goes, what does that mean? I said, I teach my kids this. Every meal has to have roughage in it. Every meal. Every single meal. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. And sometimes I'll just eat roughage for fun. Just, I'm all brand. And she's like, more people need to do that. I go, I know. So I said, do you need to check my butthole? She's like, I don't think so. I think you're good. I'm like, all righty, Roo. We'll see you later. And it was a wonderful experience. I had no issues going in or out. And I think part of it was made possible by the fact there's a certain segment of society that's not interested in going. And that's okay with me. It's like they've freed up the healthcare industry in certain aspects. I'm like, this is good.
Are you guys like me, where you go out of your way now?
What's that?
Sorry, are you like me now, where you go out of your way when you're dealing with somebody like a doctor or somebody that's providing a service in public for you? Do you go out of your way to be extra nice, to be like, please
Totally.
don't think I'm one of those fucking assholes? I'm just here to make your day go easier. I know you're here doing your
Totally.
job. I'm just trying to
Yeah.
help you. You know, like I
Totally.
find myself conscious of not being a dickhead now to people that are providing a service for me. that I'm
100%.
either- Yeah.
I go out of my
I
way. I
think
went and
we
bought a
are-
box of masks today, and I don't wear them very much. Went and bought a box, $6.99 because they're on sale. I'm like $24.99 or $6.99. $6.99, give me the whole fucking box for things like that, because it was my pleasure to help them. It was my pleasure to be nice to them. It was my pleasure to do
You
whatever.
gave
they
them
told
a
me
sigh
to.
of relief. They were
Yeah.
able to
That's what she
rest
said.
easy
It's
knowing
like, it
that
was
you
a
weren't one of
pleasure to
those.
talk to you. Thank you so much. I go, I'm looking for a family doctor. She goes, I'm full, but I'll take you. And I'm like, great. So I got a new family doctor out of it because I was
Oh, no,
nice.
good.
I did what
Awesome.
she asked to do, right? So fuck yeah,
Well,
that's
keep-
how you do it. That's how you do
My
life.
wife and I keep masks in our car and in our like bags and stuff like that. Yeah. Just in case there's somebody wants you to wear a mask. We're not required to anymore in any situation. I think even the government buildings have pulled the mandatory mask requirements. So I don't see them. Yeah. I don't see it
Wow.
very often.
Like
Occasionally
in Alberta, do
you'll
you have to
see
wear a
some-
mask in a doctor's office or no?
Well, the walk-in
yours?
clinic I went to about a month or so ago, they asked
Yeah.
me to put a mask on, and I had it in. Like I went into the office with a mask, and I went up to the counter, and the lady behind the plexiglass, the first thing I said to her was, "Do you need me to wear a mask?" And she said, "Yes, please." So I put it on, and I had to sit in the waiting room for. I think part of it now is, I mean, I understand that we've made the mask. It symbolizes something for a lot of people, which is fine. But at the end of the day, the mask isn't a new thing. And if you're in the middle of flu season and you go to the doctor's office, it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Like there might be a lot of, if I'm in there for an ingrown toenail, but Johnny, Sarah, and Terry are all in there because they caught this bug that's going around, and then I get it because I sat in the waiting room with them. Why not wear a mask? It doesn't seem to be that difficult. But whatever.
No, it's a simple thing. But like I said, I mean, I'm not talking down to those people that don't wear one or refuse it. I just wondered how they're going to ever go to the doctor ever, because it's like, especially out here.
I would add too that I think there's a segment of population that was a little more that became a little bit more, how do you put it, they didn't get vaccinated and they were a little bit more prone to the disease, and some of them died.
Susceptible.
Yeah.
And there might be less people around fighting the mask mandate.
Could be it. You might be onto something there.
Yeah, that's why I've stopped yelling at people about it on Twitter. That's because I'm like, hey, listen, it's your barbecue now. Like, you've just, like, I sat in a beautiful doctor's office today. Not one of those guys was in there angry. I was like, what a lovely day. Had a coffee in my hand, sitting in the waiting room. I even asked if I could stay an extra hour just to use the Wi-Fi and chill out. I'm like, hey, can I just hang out here for a bit? This is a lot of fun. Anyway.
Lundell walk-up clinic. Get a sign made and take it down. Can you put this up?
Yeah.
Have your own chair, parking spot.
Speaking of medical miracles, did you guys see this story that came out of the States today? This couple, this mom who's pregnant with her son's kid. You see this?
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's a lovely story.
I'm quite bothered by these. There's too much of this porn on Pornhub too.
Yeah, there is, isn't there? It's like the biggest category on Pornhub is MILF porn. Yeah,
I can't watch something if it says anything about your stepdaughter. I'm not going to be able to do it.
No, me neither. Or your mom, or your stepmom.
Stepmom.
If it's
I'm pregnant with my son's baby.
My son's baby. This is the dude. Evangelicals are losing it over this today. They're all freaking out. The woman on the right, who's hugging her son here on the left, is pregnant with her son and son's wife's child. Wife had to have a massive hysterectomy. I don't know if there's one that's not massive. So they can't have any more kids. They've got 2 sets of twins. They wanted to roll the dice and have more kids because they're dumb and want fucking 500 kids. And the mom's like, you know what? I'll do it. Everyone's losing their mind over this stuff. Like absolutely everyone. People are talking about how gross it is. People are talking about this guy. One guy tweeted me. He's like, guess that's the first real motherfucker I've ever seen. You know, you got that narrative that's being filtered in. This is the family. Everybody's having a nice time. They posted for pictures. That's the dad. That's the son. That's the mom. That's and she's having the family. How do we feel about this? Because when I read it, I was like,
Weird. It's weird.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
How many kids?
And I don't want to judge. They got 4 kids, 2 sets of twins already. IVF, and they used IVF for their mom to get pregnant.
You're not gonna,
okay, judge. Weird. Explain it to me. Why is it weird?
I don't know.
Why? Just because it's weird that the mom is having a baby with the son, but it's not incest? Is that why it's weird? Does it have an incest feel to it? An incestual vibe?
All right. Let's just say you call mom and dad over, right? Yeah. And you sit mom down at the kitchen table and go, not getting married. Can't do it, mom. But I'd love to have a kid before I die. Mm-hmm. Hey, listen, I just whacked off into this paper cup. And here's a turkey baster. Do you mind going and firing this upside you, mom, to see if we can't get this done? There we go. It goes. Is it weird yet?
No, that's weird. Yeah, because it's fucking pretty crude. What weird. They did was they in vitro, so they inseminated the egg.
So weird.
Outside the womb, and then they took that embryo and they implanted it into the mother's uterus because she hasn't gone through menopause yet. So she went and got the check out, and she's like, "Yeah, your uterus is in great shape. But 56, it's an old uterus. Probably seen a lot of action over the years. 56, a lot of uteruses have." And she's like, "Yeah, it's pretty good uterus for all that use and age." So they did, and everybody's freaking out. The religies are going, that's an abomination. And then the religions are being challenged by other people going, wait, I thought all life was sacred. All unborn life was sacred. And they're like, that's now, okay, now we're confused.
Yep. So you got to ask them, should we just abort it?
Stop it, everybody.
Is that what we should do? Jesus, man.
Yeah, it's weird. No, I think it's weird too because it's like, this is a picture that you would normally. This is like, you'd go, oh, that's a nice couple, right? And then you're like, no, it's not really a nice couple. It's a mom that's having her son's baby, and the dad's standing there. They have these like pregnancy pictures they're taking. That's the pictures. If they didn't have any pictures and just went about it, I'd be totally okay with it. But pimping it out as like, and this guy's already got 4 kids, which makes him an idiot.
Yeah,
well, it literally, like, if he got conned into having another kid, and then he's like, you know what? And how desperate is his wife to have more kids after, literally almost? And that's why they're having more kids. Is she almost died? She almost died during her last pregnancy, and they had to do an emergency hysterectomy because they're like, you're going to die unless we take that out. And she's like, but I still need more kids. That is unbelievable to me. Like, that's fucking insanity.
Well, the reason why regulated, everyone should be regulated to 2. And here's my thought behind that.
The old Chinese model.
If you have one, you're guaranteed, and you raise that one child without a sibling, that kid's going to be weird. That's the math. If you have 2, you've got pretty decent odds that the kids are going to be normal. If you have 3, you've got a 75% chance that one of those 3 is going to be an idiot. If you have 4, there is a 125% chance that one or more of your children are going to be complete morons. It's child math. So all you do is when you throw a 5th one into the picture, if you've got 5 kids,
and they're prone to twins.
Guaranteed that family is going to have 1, possibly 2, maybe even 3 complete idiot children. It's the way it's kid math.
That's a morning show.
It's kid math.
Oh, that's funny. It's actually you're not wrong. You're not wrong when you look at people that have more than 2 siblings. You're right. Yeah. But you know what? I've got it. I think it's
every time somebody's tried to question me on the kid math, somebody will speak up in the room and go, "Yeah, but Larry's a moron, right?" And that's a family of 4. Larry, we had to pick up Larry at jail at New Year's Eve, right? Last year, and he's 44, and he still lives at home. You're fucking guaranteed. Anything over 2, and it's a problem.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Just it's a ratio, it's odds,
So
it's
it's your
math,
egg,
it's
right?
great fucking kids math. Yeah, like
It was
all the
the wife's
grossness
egg.
involved. Like, you know, you can. One of the questions someone asked me today, they're like, "Do you think he's going to be in the room for the birth?" And I'm like, "That's a whole other wrinkle I don't even want to talk about. Imagine being there for the holy of holies, right down the chute, and there's your mom's gear, and you're going, okay, mom, keep pushing. Let's have a look."
Oh wow,
Can I cut the cord, mom?
that's therapy. That's thousands of dollars in therapy right there.
Right? Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my
they
god.
look
No, you
happy,
know what?
though.
I think it's just because they probably. Do you know anybody with 4 or 5 kids? They don't have
Yes.
friends. They don't.
No.
Yeah, but they don't. You don't hang out with them because they can't hang out with anybody because they have too many kids.
I don't hang out with
So they don't
anybody,
have friends to lean
Jimmy's,
on. So they got to go to mom
Jimmy's
and dad.
got 2 sisters and a brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. And we know who the
End of
idiots
story.
are there. Yeah.
End of story. And he's actually the pride of the White Clan.
Is he really? He's the smartest of all of them. That is fucking incredible.
He's the one they don't worry about, according to him.
Yeah. So quickly,
According to him.
from one tough subject to the next, I don't talk about trans issues here.
No.
Rarely. And if we do, we bring
Generally
Zoe
a
on.
mistake. Trucker
We bring
Zoe.
Zoe Carey on. Yeah. It's just there's
I
no
avoid the
upside to it.
I avoid the conversation as well because there's you can't win with this conversation.
No, you can't.
Right?
It's not possible.
I
But
don't
there's
get
no
it.
story-
I don't understand
you don't
it.
get trans
I don't
stuff?
understand the pronoun thing, and like I've never.
That's just words
and
people
that's
want to be
not-
called.
People know. I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I avoid the conversation completely.
Me too.
Not only here, but also on the show. Right.
Right.
On the
Well,
locker room.
I watched Chappelle from a distance this last few years, and I'm like, there's not a lot of upside to even having talking about it. Like, you know, other than being an ally and say, hey, whatever you like. But there's a story that's percolating here in Ontario.
In it.
Yeah, you can't. They're percolating here in Ontario about a teacher who is trans, that is transitioned to a female, so a woman now. And which is no problem. There's lots of trans teachers. I fully support people that want to be whoever they want to be and dress how they want to dress and identify how they want to identify. This one's got a bit of a wrinkle to it. And I wanted to bring it up today because it's a fascinating story that I've purposely stayed away from for a very long period of time. And because, again, there's no upside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to present it and we're going to have a quick chat about it because I don't think this story is about trans people. I think it's about boobs. I really do. I've done the math, and there's a story about a teacher in Milton, shop teacher who is transitioned to a female, and during that transition has decided to go with the prosthetic breasts. Okay. Totally fine. No issue. Happens all the time.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Good for you. Love you the way you are and what you want to be. Fully support
there's
it.
lots of levels of the trans thing, according to Zoe. We've had you can go sans penis. You can take hormones to activate stuff. You can get You can
whatever
yeah,
makes you feel like a comfortable in your own skin.
Some people even make they make the whole thing down there, right?
Yeah, they do. They get new gear. They get new gear down there. Yeah, they make a thing out of your arm.
I mean, there's different levels of it. That's why I stay away from it because I don't know anything about any of this stuff. Right?
Yeah, me neither. Well, there's a shop teacher who transitioned. This is in Halton. The woman is now the center of attention for. It's one of these things where all the issues kind of come into one melting pot. So like all the religious people are pissed off, all the trans people are pissed off, all the school board, the parents, the kids, everybody's voicing their opinion.
Everyone's
angry. Yep, that's the teacher.
That
Shop
can't be
teacher.
real.
That is real. That is in Milton, Halton. This is how she walks around, walks to school. And this is her in class again. Again, transition
that
to a
name
full
is
female.
wrong, by the way.
What's that?
You should make that clear. That name is not the actual name. Someone actually, what's his name? Fox News. He's in a lot of trouble for
dead naming.
They tried to they doxed somebody, the wrong teacher, and that's the name of the teacher that they got it wrong.
That they doxed. Oh,
yeah. So that guy's getting fucking.
What's her name? Do we know her name?
We don't know. It's not publicized, and we don't want to know it. It's.
Yeah.
No, I'm
saying we don't know
so,
this person's name. And I'm not saying this person's name on purpose because it's not the point of the story.
Yeah.
The point of the story to me
she has not come out.
Yes. What do you mean she's not come out?
She has not come out publicly and said, this is who
she's
I
living
am.
like
and she's living like this, but she's not doing press or anything like that.
It's not the school for the blind.
No,
this
she's
is
not doing press.
This is
so this teacher. Hang on. Let me get through this. So this teacher is now the subject of a bunch of different stuff. There's going to be protests at this school. As you can see, she's prone to wearing sheer tops. Hell of a nipple on those prosthetics too, including the areola. It looks incredibly real.
So what do you think that is? Is that plastic, or is that is that her skin?
I'm not even wading into that. I don't even want to get into that. I just want to point out that this is a problem for a lot of people. If my son went to that school,
so that's real.
Very real.
Yes,
we would talk about it, but I would try to help him not judge. Now, there's been a couple of recent updates. Let me get to the details. Halton District School Board, responsible for the high school that this person works at, could not confirm the name of the now viral individual asked about the situation. This is a personal matter, and we cannot provide further information, said a representative from the school board to BlogTO. This is from BlogTO. The Halton District School Board is committed to establishing and maintaining a safe, caring, inclusive, equitable, and welcoming and learning working environment for all students and staff. Let's put a pin in that one little statement. We'll come back to it. Noting that they strive to promote and support positive learning environments in school, the Halton District School Board did tell BlogTO that it recognizes the rights of students, staff, parents, guardians, and community members to equitable treatment without discrimination based on gender identity and gender expression. It's a fucking great statement, right? Video footage of a Toronto area high school teacher was blowing up online, sparked a raucous debate. It appears that though many social media users became first aware of this teacher when an American radio host tweeted series of images of this woman. You know who the radio host was, right?
The one I was
Ben Shapiro.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The only one I heard was Tucker Carlson was the one who got
Tucker Carlson did it too. Ben Shapiro did it first. Tucker Carlson jumped on it. Do you want your kids to be taught by this person? Then said to have been
I honestly have not heard about this until this morning when Grant, the first I've heard of this was Grant showed me a picture and said, this is a shop teacher. And I said, that can't be real.
Yeah.
And he's not. I think it's real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, because it looks like somebody dressed up for like a dress up day or something. Right. And that's that was my first thought, was that the teachers were dressing, and I was like, is that a thing? Like, if you're a teacher now, could you go to school and drag? I don't even know if that's allowed.
That's not even drag anymore. That's how she dresses. Like, so that's
I realized that. But I'm telling you what my first thought was.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
When I saw
My bad.
Yeah.
You're allowed to have first thoughts. No, everybody is.
My first thought was
that's unsafe in a shop class.
I was always
told
that's not a wrong
loose clothing.
It's not a wrong assessment there.
That's why she's wearing such tight shirts.
Yeah. Again, the PPC guys, all the religious fucking wackos are jumping on this because they don't like the Hooters. This guy's all over it. Says it's disgusting. Send a message like people are freaking out to the point where they're actually holding a rally at the school. The rally is called Too Far. It's at the high school that this shop teacher works at. And they want to get rid of her because the bazookas are too big and too see-through, and there's too much nipple, too much areola. But there is a legitimate question, trans or not, right? Is that too much boob?
I think it's aggressive. Yeah. I think that let's say that was a student, and a student had had large breasts.
Not even.
And was wearing very sheer out and had nipples showing like that. I think there would be a point where a teacher would probably intervene and go, "Hey, listen, can we have a conversation?" Yeah, that's distracting, and it might not be appropriate for. And I know, listen, I don't even know if this is why I stay away from it. I don't even know if that conversation would be allowed anymore. But I think a teacher, if a student was doing that and there was nipples and listen, I'm pro boob, I'm pro nipple, but a school with a bunch of guys, with a bunch of kids with hormones running through them, I think a teacher would probably step in and go, Listen, Sarah.
Boobs.
Yeah. Let's have a conversation if we
Just
can,
about the boobs.
and
Yeah.
just about your beautiful young woman, but maybe maybe this isn't the place to express this or show this right now.
Show
right?
your boobs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
And it's the
Is that fair?
well, yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. But
think so.
it's not. It's to take it a step further. Locke. What if it was a boy or a former boy that was transitioning to be a girl and had prosthetic boobs on as a student? They would get hauled out immediately.
You think so?
And oh
See, I don't
yeah,
even
for
know
sure.
him.
And I'm not even talking about like like somebody with natural large breasts. I'm talking about somebody with prosthetic. I don't even know, like whatever that apparatus.
Boobs.
Boobs. Yeah.
Prosthetic
I don't even know
boobs.
what those. I don't even know what that is. Is that something
Those are
that
prosthetic
she
boobs.
puts on?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
But
so.
are they on? Like, are they attached?
I don't know. I don't know anything about prosthetic
to
boobs. I know nothing
know
about
either.
prosthetic
Skin.
boobs. No, I don't think so.
Or is that
Yeah.
like gear that she?
I don't.
Like,
I don't know.
like a
I
shirt
think
she
it's
puts
like
on.
I think it's like one of those like shirts that has boobs in it, or it's like
Maybe,
a
yeah.
bra prosthetic that has
Yeah.
boobs in it. I
Yeah,
don't. That would
that's
be
what
my
I
guess.
think it is.
Something like that, which is fine. Those are fine. Those are. I'm a big mammary guy. I'm a huge supporter of mammaries,
Yeah.
real or fake. Doesn't matter to me who's wearing
I'll add
them.
my name to that list as well.
Yeah, when I see boobs walking my way, I have a look. It's just how I am. I don't
Yeah.
leer, but it's like, you see someone coming to it. Like I was out for a walk with a friend of mine, and she's like, "Did you not see those boobs over there walking towards us?" And I'm like, "No, totally lied." I'm like,
It's a
"I
great,
saw the boobs.
great point there
Oh,
too.
saw the boobs."
What
What's
if
up?
it was a guy? What if it's a
I
guy
like
walking around with a
natural
huge
looking
dong?
breasts.
What
Yeah.
if it was a guy walking around with a huge fake dong in his pants?
Yeah.
Like, what would we be having the same conversation? Probably, I would hope.
Did you guys ever stuff in high school?
No,
I didn't need to. I
neither
have
did-
huge balls, so there was already a package there. That was an early development. And then when I was younger, I was a lot thinner, so I looked a
Yeah.
little bit more like those dogs you see at the dump,
cock
all
and ribs.
cock and ribs, right? So it was even more pronounced. And we had horrible shorts in the 80s.
yeah,
Those
Oh, the Jorts?
basketball shorts from 1987 were just not
the gray ones.
Mm-hmm.
tight
always
dolphin
peeking out.
shorts.
Always peeking out.
There was
So
always
anyway,
this adjustment thing, and
Yeah, and then you wouldn't walk around with a hot rod like that. I think that this is so. Two things. We talk about taste with this woman who's walking around with these massive guns all the time and teaching shop. Might be a great teacher. Maybe she's a wonderful. Sure, she's a wonderful person. But the distraction level here for a 16-year-old, it doesn't matter
anybody.
the sex of the person. Doesn't matter how they identify. This is a boob story. This is not about trans people trying to groom your kids. This is not about people that are trying to get at your children.
This is
a
her
woman
idea of
who's like,
the image that she wants
this
to
is how I look on the
portray.
inside. Exactly. And she feels like she needs to haul them out and show everybody her big old boobies. And in school, it's a tough look. It's a tough look. That's the only problem that I have with it is that right now, doesn't matter where you are, doesn't matter what you were born as, doesn't matter how you identify, doesn't matter about your pronouns, doesn't matter. That's a lot of boob for high school, especially if you're a teacher. That's my opinion.
Linz, I have something to add to that, and then I'll let you go here. But let's just take this to an office situation.
Look at Army Chris just tuned in. What in the fuck, he says.
So
sorry, go ahead.
Let's just take this and take it out of the school, right? Because I think right now where the problem is, it's not even the problem. Where I think the issue is what Dean said. That's a tough sell in a high school with a bunch of 16-year-olds. Kids can be cruel, right? And listen, I know we live in more politically correct times, and I think kids are even more aware, like they're more socially conscious than we ever were.
Totally.
You went to school with Blaine?
Knowing,
I didn't know.
Just my kids are way more accepting of differences and things like that than we were when we were kids, for sure. Probably 100 times, right? I mean, I went to high school in the 80s. Man, it was different in a small town too. And I listen, I remember we've had this conversation before, I think. I'm sure there were people that were gay that we went to school with, but you would not have said it in high school in 1987. And when my daughters were going to school, it was openly discussed. There were people that were commented on it, made the decision in high school, and everyone was okay with it. It wasn't a big deal at all, which is fantastic. We've really evolved. But that's still, I think, going to be an issue in a school setting. But I think it would be an issue in a workplace.
Totally.
Like if you work in an insurance place and Larry transitions and becomes Sarah and then shows up at work
with quadruple D's and a tight sheer tank top. Yeah, you'd probably go,
I imagine,
I don't know how appropriate that is.
Yeah, I imagine like any workplace with, 40, 50, 60, 100 people, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that there would be some level of,
that's unsafe.
There would be some level of discussion about it in a work. Am I wrong?
No, not at all.
No.
Okay. We're talking about the exact same thing. And I think we're dealing with it in the right way, where it's like, I don't know. I stay away from any story that has anything to do with trans people, but this thing is so hot, like it's worldwide. This young woman is getting like press across the world. She's getting called a groomer. She's getting called a million different things, and I don't think that's the case at all. I think the case is that totally. And but I also identify with some of the parents who are like, "That's a lot of tit for Jimmy to see in shop class at 9 o'clock in the morning."
Yeah,
it's a lot. Agree. Especially in a sheer top. Like the areola. When I see areola, that's a sheer top. Like, and listen, I'm not opposed to the areola or any part of a woman's body. As anybody can attest to, I think it's a beautiful thing that women are proud and they want to show you whatever they want to show you. And it is not incumbent upon us to decide whether or not that's tasteful. But distracting. Yes, a little bit distracting. It kind of doesn't even really matter.
I got an idea. Let's go around the horn here.
Yeah.
Can you, with your hands, if you were to transition and you were to add breasts to your current situation?
I'd go big. Yeah.
You go big? Like how
not
big?
That big.
Show.
Not that big. Not even half that.
I wouldn't want them to hang that low.
No.
You'd go D?
No, that's the unfortunate part. I'd go D. Yeah, I'd go D. I'd go a light D.
See, you're a bigger man. You could carry
a heavy
C. Set of D's around. Yeah. I like a smaller, well-defined
high C.
Yeah.
Right?
High C.
Like a C, a B or a C. Would you go B or C?
C. Would be a very well.
You got to at least go C, Linz.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm wide in the chest, right? So I'm wide shouldered.
Yeah.
So
you'd look odd. You'd look odd with a couple of A-cups.
Yeah.
You know what I find even sexier than
I already have those.
Me too.
You already got this.
I already have.
Well, who are we kidding? We already have boobs.
We already have boobs.
I got a nice set. But listen, I would add a little girth there. They'd stick out a bit, like about here. You know what I find really sexy? Not this low protruding. I like a little side boob. That's sexy.
Yeah, not a fan. I'm not upset at that either. I don't get upset.
You need enough to motorboat. Okay. By the way, I think that's a woman.
Yeah,
I think.
And then Jen Waddell, who's a huge fan of ours, she's like, guys, come on.
And then
honestly,
and then Jen Waddell follows that up with, let's see those knockers, boys.
If I did have a set, I don't know if I'd ever leave the house.
Probably not.
I'd
be calling
There'd be a lot of mirrors. There'd be a lot of mirrors in the house.
Yeah,
I have.
I'd have boobs, but only for like a couple weeks. Like I'd be like,
then they get annoying.
Take these guys for a spin. Yeah, exactly. What were you saying? Let's go ahead.
No, I had a thought when I first saw this story come out, and I swear Twitter's done this to me, and it's ruined my fucking brain when it comes to judging things off the hop. The first thing I thought was, this is somebody on the far right trying to prove a point about how woke, and they're trying to just overdo it. And then as the story broke, I was kind of relieved to find out that wasn't the case. But now it's like, okay, but we still have to. It needs to be dealt with. It's not something that we can't ignore it. It's I don't know if you're looking for the attention for a reason, or if this is what you're doing, and it's just
You
part
talking
of your
about the teacher?
process. Yeah, talking about how at first I thought it was a ruse. I thought it was like somebody just being, whoa,
I
did
they
too.
say
I
that
thought
everybody
it was-
can do this.
I thought
didn't-
Putin was pulling a fast one on us. I thought he was like, "Oh, this is a troll job right here." I thought Putin made me put this together. I had no idea.
I'm
But
with
it's
you,
real.
Linz. I didn't think it was real.
I thought it was like I say, I thought it was a political stunt by some right-wing nut job saying that they tell me I can dress up like a girl, so I'm gonna dress up like a girl, and then now it's like, okay, no, it's something that I think it's just one of those gray areas we haven't discussed because this is kind of new to everybody.
Yep.
And if this is how somebody chooses that they want to, and that's how they're comfortable, fucking good for you. I'm glad.
Yeah.
I hope you are. I hope you wake up every day happy, like I wake up happy.
Yeah.
I'm very fortunate in that way. But we got to have a discussion about dress code. Like, they have dress codes for a reason in schools. We have to talk about what's
agree.
appropriate dress in situations where you're dealing with children. And I'm not accusing anybody of anything. It's just an optics. It's totally an optics thing. It's a very superficial issue. And yes, as much as that may to the core be wrong, it's still the society we live in. And we can't ignore the fact that that society exists. We can't pretend it. We can't just woke it away. We have to be real with ourselves here and say we still need to deal with that.
Dude, and I'll tell you something right now. Like, the school has gone about this all wrong where they haven't said a fucking word, right?
Yep.
They're like, no, which is like, it's
Because
I'm
everyone's
not- lack of-
no
I'm-
one
I don't wanna
knows
say the
how to,
word.
Dean.
I
no
don't
one
wanna say the
knows
word.
how to deal with this.
well, we're teaching them. That's what this is, a teachable moment. This is a teachable
We
podcast
avoid
on
it.
how to deal with this issue.
We avoid these conversations.
I'm scared
But
to
we're
death
having
talking
them, and
about
they're
it.
tough. They're
We're having
hard.
them, and they're hard.
Yeah.
But this is not a trans issue. This is not.
No.
This is a boob issue. This is a taste issue.
Yeah.
This is that's what this is.
Societal
This is an
image.
appropriate or inappropriate or perceptive issue. It's got nothing to do with how this person identifies, because there are thousands of women who teach who wear a bunch of stuff that 15-year-old boys, 16-year-old, 17-year-old boys or girls would get turned
their
on by.
dads.
Sheer tops, tank tops, short skirts, all that stuff. There's a bunch of provocative teachers out there, and no one's saying anything about them. No one's saying, they're just singling this person out because the right-wing nut jobs are like, hey, and here's the thing. The school is trying very hard to protect this person, which is great. But they got to deal with the other part of this
That's
too,
their
which is
job.
like, let's just take the idea that this person identifies as a woman. Let's just say she's a woman, because she is. She says, I'm a woman, so let's just say she's a woman. You got to deal with it from that perspective. It's got nothing to do with anything else. Those are my thoughts.
I agree.
Yeah. Do you guys want to pivot to watching pro Putin Russian guys get hauled off to join the army?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Have you
Yes,
seen
I
some
do.
of these
You know you
stories?
have an issue. You know you have an issue when.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, these guys have issues.
Maybe you've gone too far. Putin. Oh, Putin.
Maybe. So you guys saw conscription happen. Putin mobilized a whole bunch of people. We're going to have Alex on tomorrow. We'll talk about it more in depth. He's in Kyiv, Ukraine, and he thinks it's hilarious because he's like, fuck, this is the B team. This is going to be fun. Putin calls in like an extra 300,000 soldiers, but those soldiers are citizens. Conscription is a draft. If you don't know what this is, what he decided to do when he said, I'm going to mobilize troops, he is actually pulling people, young men, between the ages of 18 and 55.
300,000.
If they look that, they're combing the streets, pulling those guys off the streets, throwing them in buses, and sending them to the front lines. It is so fucking bad that you can't get a flight out of Moscow. Nothing. I'm going to show you the flight pattern. This is yesterday. Let's watch this together. This is an air traffic control tower flight pattern out of Moscow. This is what was happening. This is yesterday. These are all the men that are leaving Russia in fucking droves. Look at that. They're going to Turkey. Turkey just announced they're full. Armenia just announced they're full. Belarus, they'll take fucking anybody, but they say they're full.
Istanbul.
Finland, Istanbul, Poland, trying to go to Poland, but they hate them there too. Russians aren't allowed in Poland. They're not allowed in Romania. They're not allowed in Serbia. They're not allowed anywhere. So these
the
people
vehicular line, the vehicular line at the Finland border right now is 30 miles long.
Is it really?
30 miles of cars waiting to try and get into Finland, apparently.
That's unbelievable. I cannot, dude, I've seen some of those pictures too, but those are just the flights that are out of town. It is so bad. Some pro-Russia hawks, like this guy named Daz Regen, this is what he's been tweeting. I feel that today is going to be a good day. Russia's about to cut off Ukraine offensive. This is a pro-Putin guy who's like tweeting about how fucking awesome it is. 50,000 troops are coming in to kick some ass. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Spetsnaz, he says. Another one of his tweets. This is a couple weeks ago. While everyone's distracted in Kherson, it might be the perfect timing to blitzkrieg Kyiv. Let's go. Let's fucking take out Kyiv. My plan would be that Belarus takes the west, our glorious army takes the east. With a pincer movement, we crush the capital. This is this guy's tweet yesterday. This is fucking unbelievable. Fuck. All the flights in Armenia and Turkey are fully booked. Any suggestions to how I get out of here? I don't want to die. Then he tweets, just cross the border. Time consuming, but not that difficult. I'll keep updated when I reach my destination. This is happening. Not only are these guys piecing out, they're getting arrested on the streets. Watch this video.
Yeah,
these are 3 pro-Russian dudes. Have you seen this already, Locke?
Yeah, I've seen a couple of videos where they're chasing guys down because they're trying to get away from conscript.
Well, this is conscript.
But I'm still pissed. I had to wear a mask to the doctor's office last week.
Yeah, you should be. These 2 conscripts, there's 3 guys sitting around talking. This is in the middle of a protest. Thousands of people got arrested yesterday. And you know what they did with those, like 4,000 people they arrested for protesting yesterday? They conscripted them into the army immediately on site and sent them down to Ukraine. They're actually on a bus down to Ukraine. So they're just target practice at this point. Putin's just like a meat grinder. Anyway, these pro-Putin guys, they showed up for one of those protests. And this is them talking about how great Putin is and how these protesters hate Russia. In the middle of it, Putin's army guys grabbed the pro-Putin protesters that were there to counter-protest against the anti-war demonstrators, arrested them, and sent them directly to war. This is fucking unbelievable to watch. Watch this with us. It's crazy. I can't speak Russian, so I don't know what they're saying. But there they are, trying to explain to everybody how great Putin is. This is in Moscow, Red Square. These guys are talking about how great Putin is. Should be your duty to serve, that kind of stuff. So they're going to take care of all the protesters. Glory to Russia. All that beautiful stuff. Watch carefully what happens next. Wow. Look at this cat. It's like, what? What are you talking about? What? I got to go to war? Because I'm pro-Putin. It's like, no, exactly. Let's go.
They left the fat one behind.
Yeah, the fat, well, he's too old. He's like, fuck, lost my friends. Can you fucking believe that shit? That is unreal.
I was watching some talking head on Russian state propaganda TV was saying, and he was like the military expert, like the coordination, one of the guys that were in charge of coordination. And they were asking what are we going to do? We're just going to put these people. Oh, no, we'll give them 2 weeks of training.
They're getting no training.
2 weeks, they said.
Dude, he's literally just pulling guys off the street.
Yep.
At this point. And I'm reminded of tweets by Theo Fleury, who, by the way, looks great in mascara. Reminding tweets from Theo Fleury and everybody else talking about the tyranny in this country, and literally in Russia, they're literally just grabbing men, saying, "Got to go to war.
That's easy.
Got to go to war. You got to go kill
this
people."
Ukraine thing's really
isn't it fucking unbelievable? Can you believe that shit? It's fucking crazy. Not only did these guys get arrested, look at this. Look at him. He can't, look at his face. He can't believe it. He's like, what? Yeah. Wait a second. I gotta go. Look at that. That guy was all cocky like about an hour ago. And then the Russian army police show up and they're like, hey, that's great. You're pro-Putin. Let's go. Let's fight this war. What do you think? And he's like, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. That's tyranny. No, fuck, I can't.
I can't even wrap my head
I
around it.
literally
It's
can't
2022, and there's another country in the world right now where these people are being sent to fight a completely useless war.
You want to see the other one, the bakery video? This is unbelievable.
Yeah,
I saw one where they chased a guy down in the street. He was wearing a blue hoodie,
and he's trying to get away because he didn't want to go to the army.
Yeah, they tackled him.
Watch this. This is in front of bakery, Russian bakery. This is fucking unbelievable. That's another guy. Don't want to go to war. They're just beating the shit out of him, arresting him. They're going to take him to a police station.
Well, that'll change his mind.
Yeah.
That's a motivated soldier, isn't it?
Huh? Guys, it's
some patriotism in you.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like, it's 2022. It's 2022.
Mm-hmm.
And that's happening in this world.
Yeah.
Yeah. 117,000 were on the front line, the actual trained soldiers that went out, and that depleted. I think they were saying it was over 80%. So they have nothing left.
Mm-hmm.
They have nothing left, and that's why it's now they're looking
to
push up the ranks, 300,000, and they're doing it by any means they can.
These people that have never fucking shot a gun.
Hundreds of thousands of people for his fucking, because he's got a small dick. Like that's unfucking believable. Somebody needs to get rid of him. Like the world would be a way better place without that man. That needs to be said out loud.
I'm hoping it ends in a mutiny, to tell you the truth. I'm hoping they get enough of these guys in there that just turn around and fucking turn the guns on their own people and just say, fuck you, we're out.
Well, that's what has to happen here. People are scared though, right? They've been, but I mean, I was reading a story a month ago about some of the, there was a ton of people in Russia in the last 6 months, like the young, highly educated, anybody with any sort of access to means have been leaving the country in droves.
Yeah.
Droves.
Dude, it's so bad. I want to say, well, first, you can't get a flight out of Moscow. They canceled all the flights out of Moscow a few hours ago. But it's so bad. Lynn's put this up on Twitter yesterday. It's fucking unbelievable. Price for flights from Moscow to Istanbul or Dubai increased within minutes before jumping again, reaching as high as $9,200. 9,200 euros.
For a one-way
economy class fare. And if you can find it, you can get on a flight. If you're one of those dudes that can get on a flight, but you can't. It's fucking crazy.
If I have a Russian passport right now with the sanctions and the war and everything like that, and I'm like Lachlan, Russian citizen, and I did have that money, if I land in Poland or somewhere in Europe, let's say I was able to get on a flight, what happens? Like, how do they handle somebody from Russia? Like, I don't even know the answer to that.
I guess I don't know if they would claim refugee status or if they would.
Yeah, like how do you can't just show up.
No, I was having a conversation with another guy yesterday.
I can't go to Europe
on Twitter saying
with a one-way ticket.
Saying apparently Russia, because of all of the sanctions, they can't get parts for airplanes. So he's like, I wouldn't get on a fucking plane in Russia right now. They're apparently making knockoff Boeing parts at some factory in Russia and fixing their planes with subpar, untested. So you're going to pay $9,000 and cross your fingers and hope your plane doesn't crash somewhere, because apparently it's not looking good.
Yeah. So. And to your point, Locke, European Union members, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, Poland, pretty much everybody said they are, quote, refusing to offer refuge to any Russians fleeing Moscow's mobilization for the troops. One-way flights out of Russia skyrocketed. 300,000 residents tried to get out. A refusal to fill one civic duty in Russia, a desire to not do so, constitute sufficient grounds of being granted asylum in another country. Estonian foreign minister Umas, whatever his name is, said on Twitter, Latvian Foreign Minister Edgars Rinkovics cited security concerns for the refusal. Lithuanian ministry said, we're going to weigh each case separately, but Russians aren't allowed here. 3 other countries, Poland, Romania started turning away Russian citizens at their borders at midnight on Monday, saying they should not travel while their country's at war with Ukraine. The ban excludes Russian dissidents seeking refuge in the EU, along with truck drivers, refugees, and permanent residents of other EU countries that are living in Russia. But if you are a Russian male trying to get out of serving your army and being put in the meat grinder, you're fucked unless you go somewhere else. And I think Canada has excluded. I think Canada's. I need to fucking dig into that, but I'm pretty sure Canada did the same thing where they're like, no, because they want to put all the pressure on him, right?
Well, here's the thing, right? Like I know a little bit about this because we sent our daughter to Europe. Well, she got jobs in Europe to dance for. She was in Spain for a year. She was in Budapest in Hungary for a year, and she couldn't just fly there and land and say, hey, is there listings for apartments? No, we had to do all this paperwork. We had to jump through all these hoops. She had to have proof that the company had hired her. Like there was steps that needed to be taken. And it took us, a couple of months to go through the motions to get her before she even got on a plane to go to Hungary to a job, right? Like, Grant's sister lived in Moldova. She's a social worker. And when the war started, she came home. She's married to somebody from Moldova. She had to leave him there. And it took a couple of months for him to apply for the appropriate paperwork so that he could join his family in Canada and Saskatchewan. Right? It's not one of those things where you just go to the airport, show your passport, and go, I thought I'd go to Finland today. That's not the way it works.
No.
So yeah, like it's interesting. It's
fascinating.
It'll be interesting to see. I think we got it. We are at a point now. We got to be at a tipping point with that population. I mean, from what I've been told as well, read, not told, that a lot of people don't know what actually happened to their sons and husbands and stuff that were in the fucking military. Like there's a lot of people that are missing from this war, right? And a lot of people in Russia have no idea where their family members are that were on the front lines, that were part of this occupation of Ukraine. At some point you'd think, okay, how many people have died so far? That's let's say it is 100,000. What roughly? What's the number?
I don't know.
I think it's somewhere like 40,000 or 50,000 or something.
40,000.
I can't remember.
40,000 people are gone. Maybe some of them are in custody in the Ukraine or what. It doesn't matter. 40,000 people. That's 40,000 different families that have been impacted in Russia. At some point, some mom, some dad, some cousin, some brother, some sister has to start asking questions and hard questions. I know people are scared in Russia.
55,000, by the way.
Yeah,
sorry,
55,000. That's 55,000 people.
That's killed. That's dead. There's
not maimed.
There's an extra 50.
100,000.
Yeah, there's 117,000 troops that have been killed or injured to the point where they can't actually continue to fight. So it's almost half of the original allotment of soldiers that went there. 117 to 120,000. So 55 are dead in 6 months, dude. That's in fucking 6 months. And listen, Russians, they have access to the internet. You might not think they do, but a bunch of them do. And they read these stories. They hear these stories. They know what's really going on. To your point, this is 55,000 Russian soldiers died in war in 6 months, tens of thousands wounded and maimed. Want more than protests. This is someone that actually put this on a Telegram channel in Russia. Or surrender to Ukrainian captivity. These are options for you to survive. Russia's decision on mobilization is a frank admission that their regular army, which has been prepared for decades to take over a foreign country, did not withstand and crumbled. And now, due to mobilization, Russia's war against Ukraine for the majority of Russian citizens is not something on TV or the internet, but something that has entered every Russian home. And it's not like, everybody's like, Putin says, it's partial mobilization. We're only taking military. No. They're fucking snatching people.
Everybody.
Yeah. They're going into houses, pulling people out of their dinner tables. They're
that
pulling
guy
people
at
out of beds.
the guy at the bakery was a hipster. Like he was just some hipster.
Just hanging.
He was getting a latte and a scone.
That's how serious it is over there. So to draw
Ukraine's only lost 9,000, by the way.
What's that?
Ukraine's only lost 9,000. against the world's
Suckers.
biggest
They're going to take
military.
back all that fucking land, man, that
Totally.
they lost.
Yep.
They're going to take
Totally.
it all back. Like,
Yeah.
what a turn of events.
It's fucking incredible to watch.
It is. I thought for sure. Did anybody foresee this? I
No.
never thought in a million years. I thought he was going to walk right in. Like,
I did too.
mean, even all the pundits, even anybody that had any knowledge
all
of
smoke and mirrors, man.
military.
Yeah.
Wizard
3
of Oz.
dressed as a
Like-
9, dude. It's a 3 dressed as a 9.
Yeah.
Anyway, fascinating.
Great trooper tune.
Yeah. 3 dressed as a 9.
You can hear that on the locker room on 95.7 Cruise FM every morning.
It does
Yeah.
come, not every morning. Almost guaranteed that 3 or 4
If Kim
times.
Mitchell
a week,
sang it,
though,
it would be on every morning.
Trooper does show up.
Last story we're going to get to today. This guy is a fucking idiot. It's a story that Rookie put up because he does these stories for us. Meet Brazilian sporn sexual Arthur
that?
O. Urso. This is some dude in Brazil who married 8 models, but wants you to know it's tough. It's really hard. Really, really, really hard. Some
Picking
details.
Pizza toppings?
He's a polygamist from so-called sporn sexual, opening up
What
about
is
his
that?
busy married life, saying several of his wives demand he maintain his rippling abs at all times. Arthur O. Urso hit headlines last year after tying the knot with 8 women in Sao Paulo. The Daily Mirror reports that Urso recently came out as a sporn sexual, an academic term originating in the mid-2010s, used to describe a straight man who's fragranced, buffed, ripped, groomed, and selfie-adoring. Had no idea. Many men said Urso is living the dream by betting a bevy of beauties, but the busy hubby says he's not always easy. It's not always easy to keep up with his spouse's strict stipulations. Quote, they demand I be in shape. Otherwise, I get lectured.
Wow.
To maintain his rippling six-pack, the prolific polygamist is constantly hitting the gym. He's also cut his carbs from his diet. He's like, I don't eat gluten, lactose, or bread and pasta. Sounds like a good lifestyle. And while some of his wives love his brawny body, the buff Brazilian also enjoys looking at himself in the mirror, key trait for most sporn sexuals. Guess you got to really love yourself. However, Urso said some of his wives have different tastes and don't always need him to be working on his appearance. Here's some stuff from his Instagram account. Those are him and his wives celebrating his 100,000th follower on Instagram. Pretty easy to do. These are his wives dressed up as Playboy bunnies. All 8 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nope, 7 of them. Apparently one was in the bathroom.
She took the picture.
Oh, yeah, that's right. She brought the
He needed one to take a picture.
this is a few of them sitting around just kind of hanging out. Nice, well-appointed apartment. No one's wearing any clothes. That's pretty cool, actually. I don't mind it. This fucking picture stresses me out.
Oh my God, no kidding.
Can you imagine? This is him in bed with 4 of his wives. Obviously, one of them's taking the picture. Not a lot of people wearing clothes. I couldn't imagine something I would like less than having 8 wives or 8 girlfriends. 8 of that. I want less of that in my life. I don't want more.
You don't say.
You may have mentioned it once or twice on this show.
Do you know how much that stresses me out? That picture of him in bed with 4 chicks?
I don't know if it
I don't think about
stresses
the
me out.
No, I don't think about the sex though. I don't think about like him with like 4 women in a sea of boobs just enjoying himself. I don't see that.
I'm talking about going to bed.
I'm talking about
Trying to
like
sleep.
being late for something. You're late for something times 8. I'm
Yeah.
talking about what are we having for dinner? Times 8.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, and here's the real kicker.
I don't know. You pack.
There's a lot of DoorDash in that relationship.
Here's the real kicker
Pass
too.
the phone around.
I'm talking about this. This one thing enters my mind. It's like you have 8 people to keep up with emotionally. The one question that guy should never utter publicly in a home setting is, tell me how you feel.
No.
Oh my
Times
God.
8.
There'd be noise complaints from the neighbors. It'd be so loud.
8 times. eight different issues, 8 different people,
Okay.
8 different doctor's appointments, 8 different events, 8 different This is a nightmare. What this guy is doing to himself is abuse. This is abuse of yourself. It's having 8 spouses. If this was a woman with 8 guys, I'd say the same thing. So this isn't a sexist thing. This is a time management thing. This is an anxiety thing. This is a woes me.
Logistical nightmare.
People, woes me. I want to tell you about my terrible day. Times 8.
I can't deal with one. I don't want to hear about one.
Right?
I don't. We've had that conversation. My own,
she's listening, Linz.
I know, it's fine. No, we talk about it all. She knows. We have to talk about this all the time. It's like, I can't hear another fucking problem about your job. And imagine, okay, so next. I can't hear it about your job either.
How was your day, honey? My job was bad.
I took picture, but it was bad. Fuck off.
Let me weigh in because I'm the authority on marriage on this.
That's
podcast.
true.
Yeah, because I've been married 28 years now. I've been with my
person. Yeah,
I've been with my wife. I met her when I was 21 years of age. We've been together 31 years. I met her. We went on a date. Years. We went on a date, and a month later, we moved in together, and we've been together ever since. Now, over the years, we've had our ups and downs, and I
don't say.
Yeah, we have. We've had some difficult times. We've had to. It's not an easy thing to do to keep a relationship going, right? And I'm an idiot, so it's been probably more work just based on my lack of emotional intellect as a human being. The thing that I think because I've been subjected to that show. What's the guy? They were in Vegas for a while. He's got like 4 wives or 5 wives or something.
Sister wives,
Utah. Sister
Cody.
wives.
His name's Cody. That's
Cody.
He's a fucking idiot.
So
religious polygamists, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He's a fucking idiot.
I have been in the room. I don't watch that show. This is something that I've learned about smart people. My wife is very intelligent and loves dumb TV. It's just a thing. She likes to watch dumb TV where she just shuts her brain out.
I get that.
Right?
She a Housewives person? Real Housewives? She loves that? She loves Sister Wives?
She watches The Bachelor, Bachelorette. She's watched that.
90 Day Fiance. That's a big one too. A lot of people like that.
She didn't like that one. She watched
Love
the one
on
where
the Spectrum.
Yep, she watched that one. She watched
Love
the
on
Indian
the
Matchmaker, I think it's called.
Great show.
Yeah, Indian Matchmaker. I watch that one too. I don't watch them for the same reason other people watch those shows. So
me neither.
I watch them for different reasons. I don't
get in trouble.
Those reasons. Yeah, my reasons for watching those totally different reasons. Anyway, continue. Don't mean to interrupt.
No, that's fine. Because right. I've just succumbed to the fact that my wife, who is one of the smartest people I know, she's a very intelligent person, needs to have during her day is very, very like she needs to use her brain. She needs to think. She's a manager. It's stressful. At the end of the day, she likes to shut her brain off and she likes to watch dumb TV. I call it.
Yeah.
And cooking shows too. She loves cooking shows. So I've been in the room and I don't like if there's a big game on, if the Jays are playing, I'll go, hey honey, can we put the Jays on instead of watching fucking Sister Wives? Because I fucking hate that show. I hate that guy. I can't stand any of them. All of them can't stand. I want to choke them all out. Every single one of them. And why? Because it's non-stop. That guy is in front of the fire. Every time he's fucking in front of a camera, all he's talking about is his fucking problems that he has because he has 5 fucking wives.
Yes.
And I don't know how he does it. I don't know how any human being does that. Their entire existence is drama. Yes. It's drama. And there's nothing good about any of that. None of it.
Zero.
You have just amplified your existence on this planet. You amplified your drama by 5. And that other moron in Spain by 8.
Yeah, Brazil.
It's stupid. Brazil.
As nice as this looks, as much fun as like a young man might think this is, as a 49-year-old man who's been married 1 time and will never get married again, I can tell you this: that guy's in fucking jail every day. He wakes up going, "I'm gonna have to deal with 8 different issues, probably 15 times each. Let me multiply that by 10, and I'm gonna kill myself." And if a woman does that,
And
if she
there's
decides she wants to marry like 5 guys, she's an idiot too, because all it is problem after problem after problem. You're not gonna, you know, when people's like, I found the one, she's great, I don't have any problems with this person, it's a lot of fun. You're not gonna find the 8. Like, you're not gonna
find 8 of them.
You're
Exactly.
not gonna find 8 of the one. That guy's in jail. He hates his life. That Cody guy from Sister Wives, he's such a fucking lunatic. He deserves all the stress that fucking, and I can't watch that show. It's like watching Hoarders for me. You know, I can't live in a messy space, and I can't watch Hoarders.
I get so much anxiety watching that show.
Oh, fuck, I can't watch it. Hoarders, you're watching people like kind of go around a dead cat. There's a box there. There's a mouse that fucking runs across the woman's face at night. She's like, oh, it's my mouse. It's like, I'm like, I can't watch that shit. It's the same thing when I see this guy with all these beautiful women. I don't see
how many
ass and legs and jugs. I see conversations that I want to fucking
I do see a little
like
of that
right now.
I see. Take it again. I didn't like the way I was sitting. You were blocking me a little bit, Chantal.
Oh, he's way worse. He's a sporn sexual. He's way worse. He's Mr. Selfie. He's just like them too. So maybe it all works. I'm just saying, as a man that likes his own
himself, and and he's complaining in this article about how difficult his life is. Go pound sand.
Yeah,
it's your fault.
Yeah. Yes, Frank.
Nothing. I'm shocked. Like I don't understand why people. I guess people
get married like 8 times.
A lot of people do a lot of things.
I understand why people get married twice. Why do you get married twice? This is the other thing I don't understand. A buddy of mine got married for the 3rd time this last year, and he's like, "You coming to the wedding?" I'm like, "Not a fucking chance. I was at the first 2, you idiot."
Marriages are like pancakes, man. You throw the first one away, it's fine.
He's like, It's true. The first pancake always sucks.
You always throw that one away.
Lynn's,
when you got married, I get along really well with my ex-wife.
When you got married the 2nd time, did you have like, was your wedding? Was there gifts and was there like a party and all that? Like,
it was a very scaled down affair. It was a backyard deal. It was very, very low key. And my ex-wife was there when Ashley and I got married. There's actually a really nice picture of them on my Instagram. All 3 of them with my daughter. So
nice.
Well, that's fucking weird. I don't even know if we have time to get into that today.
No, I have a very unconventional, friendly relationship with my former spouse. Yeah. And the 4
Can
of
you
us
imagine having like all of you living together though?
Absolutely fucking not. Absolutely fucking not. There's a reason why my first wife and I are no longer, is because we couldn't live in the same house, and we recognized it early before it got cantankerous and fucking shitty, and we said, we got this kid, let's just kind of pull the pin here and do everything for the kid. She was 2 at the time, 2 or 3 at the time, so it was like we didn't want to mess the kid up, and sure enough, guess what, that kid's getting 90s in school now and doing really well. And
I know your kid. She's awesome. Like one of the most well-adjusted people on the planet. Anyway, You can sit here and pimp your excellent unconventional family, but what I'm saying is,
it makes more sense though to completely hate your ex, and despise them when they come to the door and hide in another room if they knock. That's way more normal than what you've got going on. No, I'm judging you.
You're right. No, that's more the norm. You're absolutely right. Every friend of mine with an ex has a fucking horror story.
Oh yeah,
and I feel bad talking about it. Oh well. Ours just went to the Shaw Festival. My ex and my wife and my daughter went to go see a play. You know, it's like, what, together?
This guy's gonna break up. This guy's gonna have 8 of those terrible stories, by the way.
Fuck that.
Or at least 7 of them, right?
He's an idiot.
He's a young dude. He's gonna have to break up with 7 people at some point.
Here's the other thing:
7 divorces or 8.
I've been divorced. I truly believe this is more relationship math. This is relationship math, not kid math. But I actually truly believe that most marriages, including mine, the woman has been planning. You know how women are planners, right? Yeah. Like when I met my wife, I didn't get a say in the wedding because it didn't matter what I thought. She had already worked out all the details, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was the only real problem in it because I didn't really fit the mold, but she was making do and thought maybe she could adjust me over time.
Yeah.
Right. So from day one, from like for as long as she could remember, my wife had this plan in place for her life, and it involved a man and a couple of kids and all these things, right? So you're telling me that your wife right now isn't planning for your demise? Absolutely, she fucking is. She planned everything previous to that. So they're slowly trying to kill you. You don't think that guy in Brazil, that sporn sexual, isn't in trouble? Absolutely he is. And not only that, now these guys all have, these women are all, like, as soon as he leaves to go get a pack of smokes or something, they're sitting at the kitchen table, like, writing out plans and schematics on how to get rid of the bastard. Like, he's in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't disagree.
When one of them breaks off, we're gonna hear about it. They'll do a tell-all. It'll be something. Yeah, and
then they'll have a podcast.
Yeah, with all of them at the same time. Yeah.
I'd listen to that. That's it for us, guys. Thanks. Have a great day. That is Lachlan Cross, 957 Cruise FM at Edmonton. This is where you can find him every single weekday morning, including tomorrow morning. Won't be here with us tomorrow. He's got some business to take care of. Follow him on Twitter at Lachlan Cross. Great to see you. That is Ryan Lindley. The Lins Report. Give him a follow as well. Anywhere you get your fine podcast. Follow him on Twitter at Ryan Lindley. Thanks, boys. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much for doing this.
I enjoy you guys. Thank you very much for today.
We enjoy it too. It's a lot of fun. Thanks, lads. We'll see you soon. That's it for us. Have a great day. Don't even bother getting married. Like ever. There's no point. Doesn't work. It's a colonial institution. So is racism. What does that say about marriage? Anywho. Have a good one, everybody. Thanks for being here. We really appreciate it. We'll see you on the flip. That'll be tomorrow. On this very program, my good friend, gonzo journalist and wonderful young person. I sound like I'm fucking 100 years old. Wonderful young lady. Kareem Assad will be our guest. We'll talk a little bit about that church, the Tupac Church. Old William Comer. The Convoy Church in Ottawa. He's having a bad week. Anyway, Kareem will be here tomorrow, as will the rest of the crew, except for Lachlan. That's it for us. So really appreciate everybody being here. Don't forget, you can say hi to our friends and partners that make this whole thing happen, including defense attorneys at kivlaw.ca. Rob Kivlikin, owner, Kivlaw Defense Lawyers. Listen, if you're in trouble, if you did something you shouldn't have done, if you're in some kind of legal snafu, Rob's your guy. Robert at kivlaw.ca. KIVLAW.ca. Maybe one of the best criminal defense lawyers in the country, practices in Southern Ontario. If you are in this region, the GTA, which is where we are, Toronto, the big regions, this guy will cover you. He'll get you. He'll get you the need, the help, all the stuff that someone needs when they're in a legal snafu. I love that word. I'm going to use that twice today, maybe 3 times. Snafu. But you need great legal representation. Rob is your guy. Rob at kivlaw.ca. Make sure you give him a call or send him a quick email if you're up against it. Tell him I sent you, and he'll make sure he takes care of you. And our friends at Easy Auto Financial for making this possible as well. If you're looking for financing for a vehicle, these guys are ninjas. Doesn't matter what your credit rating looks like. Doesn't matter. They don't care. They're just perfect at their job, and they take all the guesswork, all the pain, all the anxiety out of buying a vehicle, and they deal with the vendors that you want to deal with. They get you the car that you want, and it is turnkey. Make sure you use them today. Wonderful people over at easyautofinancial.ca. Check them out today. And, of course, Ed's Fine Imports. His Gitch are the best. They're on me every day. No other pair of underwear will see my nether regions. Just Gitch from Ed's Fine Imports. Order them online right now. Luxury branded underwear, boxer briefs, come in a variety of colors. Canadian made by a great Canadian guy who knows that Canadian men need a little more space in that pouch down there. So that's what you got cooking. And trust me, it's like a push-up bra for your stuff. Buy them today. Gitch3, your promo code. Gitch and the number 3 at edsfineimports.com. Order a pair or 2, and he'll send you a free pair as well. And here's the other thing he'll do, which is really nice of Ed. He'll give you some promo codes so you can get daily deals, tips on how to dress. All you got to do is go and sign up. No obligation. He doesn't fish. He doesn't spam. He doesn't do any of that stuff. He just wants to give you 15% off at purchase. So if you give him your email address when you order online, clothing for men and boys at edsfineimports.com, it's a steal of a deal. Free underwear, 15% off. John Varvatos, 34 Heritage. He's got everything. And his Gitch are the bee's knees. Trust me. Buy them today. edsfineimports.com. Gitch3 is your promo code. Have a great day, everybody. See you tomorrow with Karima.